Welcome to the show. I'm joining you from Las Vegas, Nevada, where it is warm, but the least warm it's ever been when I've been here. I'm here for the Mass Torts Made Perfect conference organized by a friend of the show, Mike Papantonio's law firm. The conference doesn't actually start until later today, so I'll probably have stories from the conference tomorrow. Sam Cedar is here from the Majority Report. I saw him last night. Saw some other of our media friends, including Farron Cousins, host of Ring of Fire, who filled in for me last week. So a lot going on here, sort of meeting of the progressive media minds of sorts. But I'll talk to you more about that maybe a little bit on the bonus show today and probably tomorrow. Ben Dixon filled in for me yesterday, did a great job. I was able to check out a bunch of the of yesterday's show, and thanks to Ben. And there's one story I want to start with, just to sort of get it out of the way, which I know Ben did yesterday, and I have such strong feelings about it that I want to give you my take on it. And this relates to this very interesting profile of Vice President Mike Pence that was done in the New Yorker. Now, of course, our sort of standard understanding of Pence is he is a true religious right, Christian, evangelical ideologue to the point where he even has some kind of really strange habits, I guess, related to his religion. He can't be alone with women other than his wife or something along those lines. And he at one point wanted to require cremation services for miscarried fetuses. And just it really goes very far with Mike Pence. But the profile of Mike Pence in the New Yorker was fascinating to me, not because of what it did say only, but also of what we sort of learned by reading between the lines about Donald Trump. And it sheds light onto this idea of, has Trump actually become religious over the last 3 years by coincidence when he decided to be candidate for president of the United States? Or is he the guy whose only philosophy is, as I've said, greed and self-enrichment and self-aggrandizement? And is he just pandering to the religious right? And the article in the New Yorker about Mike Pence confirmed beyond any doubt that Donald Trump's religiosity is utter and total pandering, because he ridicules the vice president regularly for his religiosity. Before we even get into the details, is it even really believable that a then 68 or 69-year-old man would all of a sudden become religious, become anti-abortion after a life of being pro-choice, become, I don't know, cautious about gay rights, or really change his mind on any social issue? I don't think so. 68, 69-year-olds rarely have these awakenings on these issues. So Donald Trump's religiosity was suspect to begin with. And in the New Yorker piece about Mike Pence, there's a bunch of examples of Donald Trump just making fun of Mike Pence in what actually seems like, I don't feel bad for Pence. I think he's an absolutely horrible person, an incredibly dangerous ideologue. But it seems like Trump really for no reason just ridicules Mike Pence's religion. So I'll give you three examples from this New Yorker piece. Number one, a longtime associate of both Donald Trump and Mike Pence was quoted as saying, when people stop by Mike Pence's office at the White House and then go visit Trump, Trump will say, sort of jokingly, demeaningly, "Did Mike make you pray? Did Mike make you pray?" Okay, not a huge deal by itself, but a little bit odd, right? Because Trump is supposedly religious, supposedly the same religion as Mike Pence, and most religious people wouldn't demean another religious person by saying, "Did he make you pray when you visited his office?" Okay. Number two, Roe v. Wade. There was a discussion, which is actually a really logical discussion to have in the White House with Mike Pence and Donald Trump and legal advisors about whether they want to have a Supreme Court justice that would, if given the opportunity, reverse Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade is the federal law around abortion, and it is often this sort of litmus test when Republicans are thinking of bringing in a new Supreme Court justice. They want to know, if given the opportunity, would you vote to reverse Roe v. Wade? And usually during confirmation hearings, the Supreme Court nominee won't answer it. They'll say, I can't prejudge anything that might come before the court, whatever. We know their boilerplate answer. But a legal advisor said something pretty astute and obvious to Mike Pence and Donald Trump, which was, even if we had a Supreme Court that reversed Roe v. Wade, you would probably see many states pass state-level laws to legalize abortion services. And Donald Trump turned to Mike Pence when they were told that and said, you see, you've wasted all this time and energy on it, and it's not going to end abortion anyway. If you're really anti-abortion the way Donald Trump has claimed to be during this political renaissance or being born again or whatever it is that he's had, why would he turn to Pence and say, you've wasted all your time talking about repealing Roe v. Wade? It doesn't make sense if Donald Trump also wants Roe v. Wade repealed. And then during that same meeting, we're getting to example number 3 now, the topic shifted from abortion to gay rights. And of course, Donald Trump, for the most part, has been for gay rights throughout his life, although when he became Republican political candidate Trump, he started issuing all sorts of contradictory statements on it. And Trump pointed to Pence during the meeting and said, don't ask that guy. He wants to hang them all. Now, my initial reaction was, how insane is it that the top elected official in the country, the president of the United States, jokes about something as important as gay rights in this sort of flippant and unconcerned way? But then I got to layer 2 of my reaction, which was, Donald Trump has completely, utterly, and totally bamboozled his followers. And I've been using the word bamboozled to refer to the relationship between Donald Trump and his followers for a long time. The alt-right rallies, the Confederate gatherings, all the nonsense of Trump supporters seeing Trump as this godly man, they've been tricked. Donald Trump could not care less about religion or abortion or gay rights. He has tricked you, and he is literally laughing all the way to the bank, right? Because his philosophy is funnel millions of dollars into his businesses, greed, self-enrichment, self-aggrandizement. You thought he was this godly religious man. He's just a vulture who tricked you and is now benefiting while doing nothing for you, and realistically doing things that are bad for you, right? Taking away your health care, depending on who you are, where you voted, and your economic status. Tax cuts for the rich, not for you. But layer 3 of the analysis is this. Donald Trump will not hesitate to sweep the rug out from women or LGBT individuals or whoever. So you might be hearing me say, listen, Trump clearly is not actually anti-abortion. He's not actually anti-gay. That may be true, but if Trump for a second thinks that by passing anti-choice or anti-gay legislation, there would be political gains to be had, he won't hesitate to do it because his philosophy is merely one of greed and of propping himself up. So although he clearly is not religious, this is not praise of Donald Trump in any way. It's actually furthering the criticism that his number 1 priority is just to do what he thinks is best for his political career at the time. The video you just finished watching was made possible by you through the membership program. You can sign up for membership at davidpakman.com/membership. We are viewer-supported independent media. You can use the coupon code IVOTED17 for a 40% discount off of your membership.